Hi, this is Jen Rubin, Editor-in-Chief of The Contrarian. I am delighted to have with us the Executive Director of MoveOn.org, which is one of the premier progressive groups in the country, Rahna Epting. Nice to see you here, Rahna.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I am very excited, and you kick off our week-long buildup to April 5. What's happening on April 5?
Yeah, great question. So there's going to be a lot of folks out there all across the country this Saturday on April 5th. We have over 1,000 actions being planned, organized by citizens who live in their communities, and they are upset about what they're seeing Trump and Musk do to the fabric of our society. Folks are incensed at the cuts to the Social Security Administration, proposed cuts to Medicaid, to veterans' health care, to education. I mean, they're just there's a ton of energy out there in the country that we're already seeing spring up, and people are organizing their own protests. They're going to their members of Congress town hall, and they're basically saying, no, this is not what we voted for. We do not want you to be gutting the essential services, the safety net of the United States of America. And then to top it all off, Trump and Republicans keep issuing one executive order after another, threatening our rights to organize a union, threatening the voting rights that we have. So it's kind of like there's enough to be upset about. Let's do
Yeah.
something about it. And people power is what we have. And so what we're doing is calling everyone to take action together on one day, and that's April 5th.
Got it. Now, people don't have to go to Washington or New York or Los Angeles. If they live there, that's fine. But they can go to a zillion, as you put, of these events around the country. Where do they find out how to sign up or where to go and all that kind of information?
Yeah, folks can go to handsoff2025.com. Why is it called Hands Off? It's because we want Donald Trump and especially Elon Musk to get his grubby hands off of all of our programs, get him out of the federal government and off of our private data, hands off of our Social Security checks, hands off of, Medicaid, hands off of our rights and our constitutional right to free speech. So hands off 2025.com, and people, you can go, you can search for an event in your community, and you can organize one if there isn't one, and we make it easy for you.
Got it. So if people say, well, why should I do this? The politicians don't listen or the politicians don't care. What would you say to them?
That's a question all of us wrestle with all the time, but it, like, literally in this moment, there is a role, an important responsibility all of us play to take care of our country and our democracy and our society. And the strongest lever of power we have is when we act together. And it's incredibly important that we don't just allow them to have the keys to the White House and do this to our country without standing up and saying no. I mean, I'm not going to roll over and let them take away my parents' Social Security check. I'm not going to roll over and let them just stomp all over our First Amendment rights. This is our country and we have to show it, and we cannot give up on that. And I'm not going to give up on my community members. I'm not going to give up on my neighbors and my family and my friends. And I know the folks watching this program aren't going to do that as well.
Judging from the town halls and the fact that, excuse me, Republicans are now hiding from them,
Yes.
it seems it does matter at some visceral level. Is that your experience? You've been organizing your whole adult life. Do politicians pay attention? Do they wake up if they see a lot of people turning out?
Look, do I wish they would pay more attention and give care more about their constituents? Yes. However, I will say they still do very much care. And people ask me all the time, what is our pathway out of this? How do we actually stop this power grab? And I'm telling you, the activations that we are seeing in these Republican districts, regular folks are showing up at their offices, they're showing up at town halls, they're making phone calls, so many phone calls, their phones are ringing off the hook. Like, it is working. The issue is we cannot let up. We have to keep going. It's getting them off their balance And it's the only pathway to stop this because we need to make them understand they are not getting reelected if they continue to allow Trump and Musk to do this to our country and circumvent their own power they have as members of Congress. And so that is the pathway to stop that. So if you live in a Republican district, oftentimes we think, oh, there's nothing we can do because they don't care about what. No, they care. And our strength is in numbers. So take your friends and take your family members, go to their offices, tell them they have a responsibility to protect us throughout this. They have a responsibility to represent us as opposed to rule over us. And I think that message is working, but we can't stop.
Seem that something is happening out there. At least Stefanik did not get her call to go to the UN
Right.
because Republicans were afraid of losing that seat. The race in Pennsylvania recently, a state Senate seat swapped with a dramatic Republican advantage. Of course, today we have Wisconsin and we have special elections in Florida. It does seem that something is happening even in red districts.
Yeah. Yes, I think that, Donald Trump stepped into the White House claiming he had some giant mandate because he won enough electoral college votes to secure the presidency, which unfortunately is true, but he did not have a mandate. I mean, he won by a historically slim margin. And I think that that's what we're seeing when you look at these races is people saying, whoa, like we did not vote for you to do exactly what you're doing right now. And so people are showing up in droves. And I think that is just evidence of the energy we've seen also that we see in Republican districts as well as like your big cities. And that the energy that we're going to see on Saturday is another version of that. Yeah.
Last question for you. What do you think will be success? How do you define success for the Fed?
People coming together with their families, their friends, because they believe in the project of American democracy and the promise and the hope of this country, and that they're not willing to give up on it and just let Trump and Musk and Republicans railroad over all that we hold near and dear. So I want to see a surprising turnout. I want to see friends, family members, kids, grandparents, veterans, school teachers. I want to hear their stories and what the impact of these cuts are going to do to them. And I want people to be inspired by that so they continue to take action and make their voices heard in this country, which is our right, our constitutional right, and we should be proud of that.
Well, I can't say it any better than that. We have a saying around here, which is we have to win in the court of law, which my partner Norm Eisen does in spades, and in the court of public opinion, which you and millions of other people are doing. So thank you so much. Contrarians, you know what to do. Handsoff2025.com. And we'll see you out there on Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us, Rahna.
Thank you.